Do you know what is the scariest thing in the world? I'll tell you. It is the fear of the unknown. Something which you don't recognize, something which you've never seen before, something which you don't understand. That is the thing which is the scariest, because your imagination starts running wild and you start hallucinating, you start imagining how bad or how terrible that thing could be. So, like I said, the unknown is the thing which draws or brings out the maximum fear in people. Hello and welcome back to Biplob World with me Abhishek, as I bring to you one more story as part of our Friday read alouds. And this story, like you would have guessed, is a story where some people or some creatures are terrified. They are petrified with fear because of a mystery monster. This is a story which is from our own book, The Adventures of Biplob the Bumblebee, Volume 4. And the name or the title of the story is The Mystery Monster. As you can see here, Biplob is terrified with the mysterious monster that is standing behind him. So let's quickly get in and see what this story is all about and who is this mystery monster that scared everyone. One morning as Biplob went into the garden, he could hear Miss Daisy wailing. She was crying. He has ruined everything. So many days of hard work and loving care, all destroyed in one afternoon. And Biplob too was shocked as he flew to the flower beds. Nearly all the plants had been uprooted, all the mud had been churned up, and in place of the plants, there were little stones and there was even a bone. So can you see here? All the plants have been dug up, the soil is completely overturned, there are stones and bones where the plants were earlier living happily. Biplob just looked there and asked, who did this? Where did this monster come from? And he said it was this hairy beast, and you can see here the descriptions. It's a hairy beast with long fangs dripping with saliva. And he had ears that were so big that they were sweeping the ground, and sharp claws that helped him dig up the soil in a jiffy. He was truly a very, very scary monster. And when the flowers described the monster to Biplob, he was petrified on hearing it, because he started imagining how terrible that monster may have been. And just while the flowers were describing the monster, Miss Violet let out a gasp. She said, "Ah, look, that monster is coming back!" And all the plants turned around aghast as the dreaded monster came running into the garden. He came bounding in with a lot of energy, as if he had no care in the world at all. And looking at the monster, can you imagine what Biplob must have felt? You can't. Because when Biplob looked at the monster, he started laughing loudly. And all the flowers looked at him in amazement. In fact, Miss Violet looked at Miss Daisy and said, I have heard that when you are very, very scared, sometimes you go mad. I think that's what has happened to this Biplob. That's what the flowers thought. All of us are petrified of this monster, and Biplob the Bumblebee is sitting here and laughing. And Biplob said, "Oh, I haven't gone mad, my innocent friends. And I call you innocent because you are mistaking a cute little cocker spaniel dog for a monster. And now suddenly, when you see this image of the dog, can you remember how the flowers described him? They said he's got long floppy ears. See the ears of the dog. They said he has big sharp teeth with saliva dripping. Of course there's saliva dripping. All dogs drool all the time. And they said he has big claws with long nails. Yeah, he has long nails because every dog has long nails to dig with. So it was nothing but a cute little cocker spaniel puppy that the flowers had seen and got petrified of. By now, this dog quickly went to the flower beds and started digging the flower bed once more. But thankfully, before he could do any damage, 3 children came running in. And they were our old friends, Addie and Avantika, with a third friend of them, whose name we shall find out in due course. So Addy said, "Hi Biplob, have you seen our dog Floppy?" Biplob, before he could reply, Avantika said, "Oh look, there he is. He's now in that flower patch burying a bone that he stole from the lunch table." Biplob said, "Hi Addy and Avantika. Floppy has destroyed an entire flower bed and buried stones and bones in it. Look at all the plants that he's dug up." And when the children saw the plants, they were very apologetic. They were very sorry for the damage that Floppy had done. They said, "Oh Biplob, what can we do?" He said, "Well, for a start, why don't you replant these saplings? Why don't you help us put these plants back in the soil, pack it properly, put some water so the plants can continue growing?" So they said, "Okay, great. We'll quickly do as you tell us, and our friend Ved will also help us." So they went to the shed where all the tools were. They got the spade, they got a hoe, they got a crowbar, and they quickly started digging up. And as you can see here, Addy and Avantika dug up the soil and put the plants in, while Ved put a little water on every plant so that they could get some nutrition and their roots could firmly get embedded in the soil. And Floppy, can you see him here in the corner, hanging around there with a shameful look on his face because he knew he's done something wrong, although he doesn't know what he's done wrong, but there is something that he's messed up with, and which is why he's looking apologetic on the side. And while they were done, Biplob then explained to the children that dogs, by their nature, like to bury things, because for them finding a bone or finding a toy, anything which is a treasure, they dig up the soil and they bury it in it so that they can use it or they can eat it afterwards when they actually need it. In the meantime, they keep it buried so that it is safe from other animals. That is their natural instinct. It's their nature. It doesn't make Floppy a bad dog if he's dug up the flower beds, because he has to dig it up. Like I said, it's part of his nature. And Biplob explained, rather than scolding Floppy, what we should do is find a piece of land for him where we've not put any plants, where there is no crops, nothing has been planted. So Floppy can happily dig over there and he can bury all of his treasures. And that's exactly what they did. As you can see here, they found a barren piece of small plot which is just behind the garden where Floppy could happily bury his treasures. So did you see? This mystery monster that everyone was petrified of turned out to be nothing but a cute little puppy dog. And that possibly is also the true cause behind all our fears. When we don't know what something is, we start fearing it. Like let's say, for instance, mathematics. I know some children who are very scared of math. They think it's very dangerous, it's very difficult. That's simply because you don't know it. The more you start practicing it, the better you know it, the lesser you'll start fearing it, until one time it will be your best friend. So that was the story of the mystery monster. I hope you all enjoyed it and you learned something new about how dogs behave. We've got this and many other wonderful stories, not just in volume 4, but in all of our other books, which you can pick up either on Amazon or Flipkart or on our website. And I'll see you next week with one more story from somewhere around the world. Till then, do subscribe to our channel, like this video and share it with all your friends so that they also know that there is nothing to be scared of if you have true knowledge on your side. So goodbye, and I'll see you next week.